Hey, what's up? Last year I shared a sourdough ciabatta recipe with you, which is good but can be better. This time I'm gonna make one of those bigger ciabatta with giant holes and chewy crust. It's soft and crunchy at the same time. That's what Italian love. And of course, it's super easy to make and less complicated for beginner bakers. So let's get into this, shall we? First thing first, I wanted to feed my starter quickly, so I put it inside the oven with the light on. And boom! After just 3.5 hours, a super active starter ready to go. Let's make the dough. In a medium-sized bowl, add 8 grams salt, followed by 340 gram water. Mixy, 80 gram of that beautiful active starter. Mix again. And last but not least, 400 gram bread strong flour. If you're using all-purpose flour or any flour with lower protein content, something less than 30%, you can reduce the hydration to something like 78% or even 76%. This recipe is 80% hydration. Once I had a shaggy dough, I set the time for 30 minutes without doing anything else and let the dough rest. 30 minutes later, the magic happened and the dough gained some beautiful strength. Bring a small bowl of water close to you, because we need to wet up our hand every time we're gonna touch the dough. And now perform a set of stretch and fold. When I finish folding all the side to the center, I'm gonna flip the dough, wet up my hand again, and ball up the dough in my hand like a pizza dough. Or round it up inside the bowl. Don't push it too hard, nothing fancy, just bring it together. That's it. Another 30 minutes rest. This time, I'm gonna start with coil fold. This is the first set, and I will give this bad boy another 2 sets of coil fold. I think coil fold bring lots of air and smoothness to the dough. That's why for this recipe, I decided to give the dough 3 sets of coil fold. Once you had something like this, cover it up, let it rest this time for 45 minutes. Again, wet up your hand. Another set of coil fold. And another 45-minute rest. Perform the last set of coil fold, this time more gentle. And the dough should look like this after the last set of coil fold. It's gonna finish its ball fermentation up to 2 hours or into the fridge for cold fermentation and continue the process the next day. If you have one of this thick towel called couche, would be the best option, but if you don't have it, you can use any other kitchen towel you have. Dust up lots of flour generously on top of the dough. Flip the bowl and the dough should release from the bowl easily. If you let it cold ferment in the fridge, the dough is easier to handle. If you didn't, you can use more flour, as much as you need. Don't push the dough, we don't want to lose any air. Dust up both sides with lots of flour. And now I'm gonna separate it into 2 beautiful pieces. You can also separate it into 4 pieces if you want smaller ciabatta. And you don't need to waste any flour. Clean up the table and flour up the couche or kitchen towel with the remaining flour. So no waste, right? And now transfer them on the couche. It's a super soft and airy high hydration dough, so make sure you flour up the towel generously. As baguette, I'm gonna make the line to let them kinda hold their shape. That's it, nothing fancy. And now cover them up and let them proof. Meanwhile, I'm gonna preheat my oven with the fan on at highest temperature, and I set a baking steel on the middle rack. You can also use an upside down tray if you don't have baking stone or baking steel. And about 40 minutes later, the dough looked like this, full of air and bubbles. Now let me show you the technique. And that's how you transfer your dough professionally. If you don't have a broken pizza peel like me, you can use anything you have in your kitchen. The dough is ready to bake when you poke it and it's bounced back slowly. Do you see that? I'm gonna use little bit of water. We don't need that much steam for ciabatta, especially in home kitchen oven, because it's not gonna reach to that very high temperature. Bake for 13 to 15 minutes at 250 degrees Celsius with the fan on. I mean, gorgeous, right? Let's check the crust. Crispy and airy at the same time. It should sound hollow. Oh my god, I can't wait to cut it open. Imagine you have a balloon with a crust. Oh my god. You are most welcome. I mean, look at those giant holes. I'm so happy with the result. Please let me show off a bit. And of course, it smells like heaven. You can also cut it like this. Do you think about some butter? I have better option for you. All you need is little bit of extra virgin olive oil and little bit of salt if you like. Trust me, make this bread and it will become your all-time favorite. That's all about Italian cuisine, my friend. Simplicity. Alright, that was it. My updated sourdough ciabatta recipe. This time, less complicated. Like always, keep baking and take a good care of yourself.